Attention, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for your attention. Today we're giving the tenuous world of human behavior and psychology some much-needed attention. Before we get started, please take a moment to give this channel some attention by subscribing to it and liking the video. It's a huge help and we like you right back, very much. Thank you. Now, you know me, I ain't afraid to tell it like it is. And today we're tackling a topic that affects every single one of us, attention. We're going to explore the top 15 ways that too much or too little attention can impact us in surprising ways. Some of these might make you feel uncomfortable, but that's all right. We're here to learn and grow together. So, grab a seat, buckle up, and let's get started. Chapter 1. Smothered when attention kills productivity. Let's be real, folks. Nobody can get anything done when they're constantly being interrupted or micromanaged. It's like trying to run a marathon with someone clinging to your leg, dragging you down. When you've got someone breathing down your neck, watching your every move, it's hard to think straight, let alone be productive. You start second-guessing yourself, your creativity gets stifled, and pretty soon you're just plain frustrated. This is a recipe for disaster, folks. Remember, we all need space to breathe, to think, to create. Otherwise, we're just robots on a production line, and that's no way to live. Chapter 2. Starved for attention. The anxiety trap. Now on the flip side, not getting enough attention can be just as damaging. Imagine feeling invisible, like you're shouting into a void and no one can hear you. That's what it feels like when you're starved for attention. You start questioning your worth, wondering if you're even good enough to be noticed. This kind of thinking can send you spiraling down a rabbit hole of anxiety and stress. You see, we humans, we crave validation, we need to feel seen and heard, it's in our DNA. And when those needs aren't met, our minds can play some pretty nasty tricks on us. Chapter 3. The self-esteem thief, when attention runs dry. You know, low self-esteem is like a slow poison. It eats away at you from the inside out. And one of the biggest culprits that feeds this beast is lack of attention. Think about it, when you're constantly overlooked, ignored, treated like you don't even matter, it takes a toll on your soul. You start believing that maybe you're not worthy of attention, that maybe you don't deserve to be seen. And that, my friends, is a dangerous road to go down. Because once you start believing those negative thoughts, they can be awfully hard to shake. Chapter 4. Attention junkies, the desperate cry for help. Now sometimes, this lack of attention manifests itself in some pretty unhealthy ways. We've all seen them, the attention junkies, the folks who will do just about anything to get noticed. They crave the spotlight, the likes, the comments, the validation, even if it's for all the wrong reasons. But here's the thing, folks. Behind that desperate need for attention, there's often a deeper pain, a wound that needs healing. Maybe they didn't get enough attention growing up, maybe they're feeling lost and alone. Whatever the reason, it's important to remember that these attention-seeking behaviors are often a cry for help. Chapter 5. The relationship wrecker, attention imbalance. Now let's talk about relationships because that's where this whole attention thing can get really messy. Too much attention, and you're smothering your partner, making them feel suffocated. Too little, and they're left feeling neglected, unimportant, like they're not even on your radar. Finding the right balance, well, that's the key to a healthy, happy relationship. It's about being present, being attentive to your partner's needs without being overbearing. It's about making them feel loved and appreciated without making them feel like they're under a microscope. Chapter 6. Decision paralysis. Too much input, too little clarity. You ever feel like your brain is fried from information overload? Like you've got a million tabs open in your head and you can't seem to shut any of them down? That's what happens when you're bombarded with too much attention, too many opinions, too many voices clamoring for your attention. It's exhausting, and it can make it downright impossible to make a clear, rational decision. You start second-guessing yourself, overthinking every little thing, and pretty soon you're paralyzed by indecision. Chapter 7. The isolation chamber. When attention dries up. We're social creatures, we humans. We crave connection, interaction, a sense of belonging, and when that's missing, when we're starved for attention, it can feel like we're trapped in an isolation chamber, cut off from the rest of the world. The silence becomes deafening, the loneliness suffocating. We start to question our worth, wondering why we're not good enough to be included, to be loved. It's a slippery slope, folks, and it can lead to some dark places. Chapter 8. Burning out, the price of constant attention. Now, some of you out there, you thrive on attention. You love the spotlight, the accolades, the feeling of being needed. But here's the thing, even good attention, too much of it, can take its toll. It's like running a marathon without ever stopping to rest. You might feel energized at first, but eventually, you're gonna hit a wall. And when you do, it's gonna be ugly. Burnout is a real thing, folks, and it can manifest itself in a whole host of nasty ways, from physical and emotional exhaustion to cynicism and detachment. And while we're here, please take a moment to subscribe and like the channel and video. That's what the YouTube algorithm looks for when sizing up this video for recommendation. Clicking subscribe and like is a huge help and is much appreciated. Chapter 9. The Seed of Self-Doubt. When attention is scarce, self-doubt is like a weed. If you're not careful, it can take root in your mind and choke out all the good stuff, like confidence and self-love. And one of the things that can really fuel this weed is lack of attention. When you're constantly being overlooked, ignored, treated like your thoughts and feelings don't matter, it's easy to start doubting yourself. You start to wonder if maybe you're not good enough, smart enough, funny enough. Chapter 10. Attention deficit can't focus in a noisy world. Our brains weren't designed to handle the constant barrage of information that we're exposed to in today's world. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. Eventually, you're going to get overwhelmed, and that's when attention deficit rears its ugly head. You can't focus, you can't concentrate, you're easily distracted. It's like your brain is stuck in overdrive, and you can't find the off switch. Chapter 11. The Darkness Within Depression and the Absence of Attention. Depression is a serious issue, folks, and it's not something to be taken lightly. It's like a dark cloud that follows you around, casting a shadow over everything in your life. And one of the things that can contribute to this darkness is lack of attention, feeling unseen, unheard, like you don't even matter. When you're struggling with depression, you need support, you need connection, you need to know that you're not alone. But when you're surrounded by people who are too wrapped up in their own lives to even notice your pain, it can make you feel even more isolated, even more hopeless. Chapter 12. The Imposter Syndrome Paradox. Too much attention, not enough belief. Ever heard of imposter syndrome? It's when you achieve success, you get the recognition, the praise, but deep down, you feel like a fraud, like you don't deserve any of it. It's a strange paradox. Getting too much attention can actually make you feel worse about yourself. You start to doubt your abilities, your accomplishments, wondering when everyone's going to figure out that you're just a phony. Chapter 13. The Power of Self-Reflection. Finding balance in the noise. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to get caught up in the noise, the constant stream of information, the opinions of others. But it's important to remember that you are not defined by what other people think of you. True validation comes from within, and the only way to access that inner wisdom is through self-reflection. Taking the time to quiet your mind, to tune out the external noise and listen to your own inner voice. Chapter 14. Emotional Roller Coaster. Attention and its impact on our feelings. Our emotions, they're powerful things. They can lift us up or drag us down, and believe it or not, the amount of attention we receive can have a big impact on how we manage those emotions. Too much attention, and we can become overly reliant on external validation, our moods rising and falling with every compliment or criticism. Too little, and we can become withdrawn, our emotions bottled up inside until they explode. Chapter 15. Finding the sweet spot, attention, and your well-being. So, we've covered a lot of ground here today, folks. We've talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly sides of attention. And the bottom line is this: finding the right balance is crucial for our overall well-being. Too much or too little attention can wreak havoc on our mental, emotional, and even physical health. It can affect our relationships, our careers, our sense of self-worth. It's about setting boundaries, learning to say no, prioritizing your own needs. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're getting enough attention to feel seen and valued, but not so much that you're overwhelmed and exhausted. So that sums up the attention balancing act. From us to you, there are many ways that too much or too little attention can affect us. Remember, finding the right balance is key to living a fulfilling and healthy life. It's about being mindful of the attention you give and receive and making sure it's serving you in a positive way. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button for more insightful content. Until next time, take care of yourselves and remember, you are worthy of attention, but you don't need to be the center of it all the time. Thank you for your attention and for your subscription and like. We like you right back. Don't forget to comment regarding any experience you've had with the topic and anything that resonated with you, good or bad. Ugly or cute, it's great to see them and we'll look for you in the next video. Peach out.